Hello. I'm going to continue working on these cold wax medium pieces that I started last week. They've been drying over the weekend and they are in the semi-dry stage, maybe a little beyond that. So like when I touch them, nothing comes off of my hand, but they have this like a little bit of tackiness, I guess. And I'm sticking with a like earth tone palette. So I'm going to be using raw sienna and yellow ochre and titanium white. And what I want to do is like kind of there's a lot of contrast in this right now, and I want to just kind of tone it down a little bit because this is like the second layer, and I want to put another layer on top. So I'm going to use a technique called veil of color to unify it, and I think I'm going to use the yellow ochre for that. So I'm not going to be adding any texture in. I'm just going to be well, I'm not sure if I'm going to roll it on or if I'm going to do something else. So I have my yellow ochre out. And let's see, yellow ochre is, oh, it doesn't say on here. Oh, it says it's transparent. So it's already transparent, and then I'm going to be mixing it with cold wax medium. So it's going to be even more transparent. So we'll see how this goes. So there's still a lot of contrast in there, but it's a little bit toned down, and it's kind of hard at first to see this, but now like I have lots of, instead of blacks, I have greens because of the yellow going over it, and it's pretty hideous to me right now. Like I don't love how this looks. But I'm gonna, let it set up and see what happens with it as I keep working on it. All right, here is my other piece, and this one is a little bit more wet. So the roller is just gonna make a big mess. And I wasn't crazy about that color, so I'm going to modify the color just a little bit. I think I'll add just a little bit of burnt umber. I mean, when I was working with the earth tones before, at first I was like, ugh, I hate these. And then all of a sudden I loved them. So I know that if I keep going, it will get better. And as they say, every painting goes through an ugly stage. Oh, that's so poopy. But we'll see. Maybe it'll look better. So I think I'm just gonna kind of tone down these bright whites in here. And the thing that's so weird about color is, so that's the effect when you first put it down. Colors are just so dependent on the colors that are next to them. It's really hard to tell what you have, and you put another color down and then it looks really different. Okay, so that's just like still really staticky, and I don't really like it. So, all right, here's my third one, and I'm gonna introduce some blue. I'm gonna introduce some French ultramarine, also a transparent color. I think one of the things that's going on is that I'm trying to tone down these bright whites, and I'm doing it by using a dark color. And instead of toning it down, it's just picking up on the texture and making it really like high contrast, kind of static, which is one of the things I'm not crazy about. So I don't think what I'm doing is going to work. So I'm going to just like see what happens if I press really hard on this and kind of get that paint into that texture. I'm really compressing the texture now. See, now I like this color because it looks more orange up against that blue, and it's more pleasing. I like it quite a bit actually, and it's mixing with the blue and making kind of a nice green color. So I actually really like the ultramarine and the yellow ochre, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do more of that. My goal is to create a background. And in order for the background to work with what I'm trying to do, it needs to have texture, but not have a lot of contrast. I want something that's more ethereal. And I want to be able to do some other techniques on top of this. So, and I don't know if what I'm trying to do is even possible. I'm really used to watercolor, and sometimes it shows. There it is. There's the result of my efforts. I don't mind a little bit of these lighter values showing through. I just want it mostly to be dark. And it looks quite different on camera. This is actually like a pine green color. And on camera it looks like, I don't even know what color that is. Maybe if I tilt it now. That's just how my camera is. So this has some stuff I'm kind of interested in. I feel like I'm being too precious. Like I just need to be willing to mess this up. I don't like that big blobby yellow in there. Like that lighter value when it's kind of blended and not so staticky is more pleasing to me. Okay, there's that one. All right, here's the last one. And I'm going to jump in with some red because I have no idea what's going to happen if I introduce some red. It feels like a really unnatural color. So I'll tone it down with something. And now I'm very curious to see what happens if I add some yellow ochre. And, you know, a year ago, I would have, I'm one of the themes for me in my art journey is how to deal with frustration and disappointment in my own art when I'm like recovering from like depression. And it's so easy, so easy to get bummed out when things don't go well. And like I have to just be like, oh well. That was my dog trying to dig into his toy box. You know, it's not, this looks bad. Now I know that I don't like this. Some of this I like. I'm really liking the oranges that I'm getting, but it's so much red. So I think I'm going to try lifting off some of the red. My dog has found a large bone and wants to play with it. Oh, little spider friend. And it's also like really easy to be like, I'm making backgrounds and like to not let the process lead. And, you know, maybe this isn't going to be a background. You know, maybe it's going to be something else, and that's okay. I like that texture over here, but I'm not too fond of it over here. Okay, today was not a good studio day, but that happens, and it's good to just be like, okay, bad studio day, and to just kind of roll with it. Let things set up, do something in the sketchbook instead, and I'll come back to this. Like, it's so tempting to like, you know, I could scrape into this, and that's something I want to do later. Like that's just so satisfying. But I want to wait. I don't want to, because the scraping in, like, it's a very strong mark, and I'm not ready for it. I'm thinking background right now. I'm not thinking foreground. Okay, well, there we go. We'll just let it be. I think I'll leave those. And we'll see what happens when I add a little bit more. So the positives I have discovered is I really like yellow ochre as a mixing yellow with the ultramarine and the cadmium. I really like the colors I got from that. I didn't do anything with the raw sienna. One of the things I tried to do with these 4 pieces is I was trying to like establish some value stuff, like a underpainting with the burnt sienna, and I'm not crazy about that because it's just such a heavy brown color. So I'm not sure that worked for me. Because what I want is like more unified values so I can use it as a background. And so I think one of the things I'm going to do is take some pictures of these and make them grayscale and just see how the values are. And if it's, they're all kind of in the midtones with some lights and some darks, then I think they're going to work as backgrounds. So, so that's where I'm ending up. I took my gloves off too early because I'm not quite done cleaning up. So I have to put gloves back on, and I'm going to clean up and I'm going to let them set up. And then I'll do a part 3 where I'm going to, use them as backgrounds and put something on top. Thanks for watching.